All right, hey all, Mark Soberman here with NetPicks. Wanted to come back in and do a quick update on our latest trade setups for several cryptocurrency markets like we've been doing here on YouTube over the last couple months. The last update was a couple weeks ago, and we've really mostly gone sideways during that time, but I definitely wanted to give you some updates based upon the trades that we had set up for everybody about 2 weeks ago. It's probably a good idea to watch some of the previous videos as well, because you'll learn more about the system that I'm using, the rules that I have, and how I approach my active trading versus my passive trading, where I'm just holding on to digital assets such as Bitcoin and others, as I'll show you in a moment. The overall market, I always like to take a look at the overall market cap. A lot of people do this. Right now it's a little bit above, or I should say below 1.8 trillion. It's much nicer for that to be above 2 trillion. Then things really start to get going from what we've seen. So we're still sitting below that level. I know in my portfolio, it's up over the last 24 hours. It's up over the last few days. Obviously, over the last stretch of time here, we're down quite a bit since we peaked perhaps a couple months ago. So what I want to do is take you through the different markets that we've been updating you on. And the first one we'll start with is Bitcoin. We had a buy setup at 42,565, and you can see back on February 28th, we had this huge spike bar here. And actually that was some short covering at the very end of the month, and that did fill. We've talked about if we get to the second Keltner channel, this is an area where sometimes I like to take, if I'm being more conservative, a little bit off. We really didn't get there. We fell short. As you can see, we didn't close at or above that line. So as of right now, we're holding this trade. We're in at about 42.5. And so the question becomes, where do we get out? Where do we give up on this trade? And my rules are, on the parabolic, I take the third parabolic back, which is right here. And that's basically going to be around the $36,000 level. So a move down to there or a break below would have me looking to exit this part of the trading part of my portfolio. Like I mentioned, I'm holding on. I've had Bitcoin stake for a long time. I'm not changing that, but for the actively traded portion, this is the appetite I have, the room that I'm willing to give it on this trade. If it fails, then we'll go ahead and wait for the next setup. Over time, as I've mentioned, we've had about 2 out of 3 of these setups work, from really good to phenomenal. So I know I'm going to be wrong, and it's going to happen on a regular basis. That's, you have to step up, take some swings, and then look to catch one of the good moves. And I just don't want to stay in too long, just in case the market rolls over. I'll let it fall lower, and I'll find a new great buy point along the way. This has worked really well for the last 5 years in this market. Now, if you want to learn when the new setups come, when the stops come out, please make sure that you click subscribe and like the video. We really appreciate that. 1, helps us get the word out to more people. 2, it's going to make sure that you're aware of when I make a change, when I have a new buy setup, when I have a new stop. Because if the market takes off to the upside here, or even to the downside, I'm going to have some updates for you, and I definitely want to make sure that I can share that. But the only way to do that is subscribe to the channel, and definitely, if you don't mind, give a like to the video. That helps us share it with more people. Now, Ethereum is another one that we got in at the end of February at a little bit above 3,000. And right now, if you go the 3 parabolics back here, 1, 2, 3, you can see that's about the $2,400 level, which puts us a little bit below the March 7th low. Not below this spike low, which happened back on February 24th, which is down towards 2,200. So obviously that would be the more aggressive stop, meaning you're giving a lot more room. But based strictly upon the system, when I see a break below 2,400, unless we get a quick reversal right there, I would be looking to exit out of this trade. So yeah, I'm willing to give it some room. I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm willing to give it a chance to break out of this range, but I don't want to stay with it long term. Now, another market that we gave you a setup on was Solana, and it's always the way it seems to work is typically Bitcoin and Ethereum will go first, and then the additional alternative currency pairs will go next. And you'll see exactly what happened. I had a buy setup at 109.52. That has not changed. It's still the buy setup for Solana. It did not trigger on February 28th or the couple days after. It lagged a little bit. It started going higher onto March 2nd. First came Bitcoin and Ethereum, then the alternative pairs came, but it did not trigger. So for right now, still 109.52, we're safely on the sidelines no matter what happens for the moment with Solana. Another one we've been following very closely is Chainlink, another one that I would like to get a position on, but my buy is still, I may have moved it down a bit, 1768. We're down to 1338, so we got quite a bit of room to move here before I want to get involved in Chainlink. But once this happens, I will be involved. I will be this trade. So again, that one is one that we are flat. Another one we've been tracking is Cardano. Same story. Our buy was at 1.0855, and you can see we have not, at this point, come that close. The closest we came was March 1st, but we're still ways away from that. Now, we may reset this buy setup if we get any close below these Keltner channels. It's threatening it, but it hasn't closed below, so I have not reset the buy. The last market we've been tracking is Matic, and you can see here we'll go ahead and show you. We have a buy at 1.8686. That has not changed. We're still, same thing, consolidating, moving a little lower. Maybe you could say starting to see some, higher lows, but still hard to say. This could break either way. Everybody expects a sizable move is coming, right? It's close. It's just hard to know. Is this a breakout to the upside, a breakout to the downside? I personally don't know. I have my feelings and my thoughts and my hope of which way it goes, but there's no way to know. For now, it doesn't really matter because we have our setup here. So that gives you the update on Bitcoin, Ethereum, on Chainlink, Solana, Cardano, Matic. So you've got a really nice cross section of markets. Two of them, we triggered the two main ones, right? The big ones, the big boys, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we have to have exit strategies in mind. That's very important. I've found sometimes when I get really stubborn with the exit and I keep holding on, it doesn't always work out well. So I really have to force myself to say, you know what? I lost on this small battle. I'm going to give it up. I'm going to take the loss, but I'll come back and take another trade. And if that is the one that breaks out, that loss becomes an afterthought. And I showed a few videos ago the track record over time. You can see really not worth worrying about the times where you step up and it just doesn't break out and continue. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If there's any other markets you would like me to look at, leave it down in the comments down below. I'll take a look at it. I'll even reply in the comments for you with what I would be doing with that currency pair. So thank you very much. Please make sure you subscribe, and I hope to talk to you again on the next cryptocurrency update. Thanks.